For more, let's welcome in our prestigious political panel. First, Skyping in from New York City, former Lieutenant Governor of the Empire State, Betsy McCaughey. And cross-country via Skype from Southern California, the son of President Ronald Reagan, political commentator Michael Reagan. Michael, of course, the author of the book, Lessons My Father Taught Me, The Strength, Integrity, and Faith of Ronald Reagan. And as always, you can find and follow Michael on Twitter. His handle is @ReaganWorld. Thanks to you both for your time tonight here on Newsmax Prime. We know that polls lag behind events, but already we see a tightening nationally, with most polls showing the lead for either candidate within the margin of error, and Donald Trump has pulled ahead in some important battleground states. For example, Mr. Trump now leads Hillary Clinton in Florida. According to the latest New York Times poll, his margin is 4 points, 46 to 42%. Mr. Trump trailed Mrs. Clinton by a point in that same poll last month. Now, we know the New York Times is a left-leaning organization, so we take their numbers with a bit of skepticism, but to hear the news that Trump is up by 4 in this battleground state says a lot. What say you, Betsy McCaughey?
Not a surprise. Most Americans are very concerned that electing Hillary Clinton will mean 4 years of scandals and corruption. And they're also very aware of the disaster known as Obamacare. Open enrollment starts tomorrow for the 11 million people signed up for those plans. But virtually everybody in the nation is hurt by Obamacare. And seniors especially. People in Florida are getting those bills for observation care. They're getting shortchanged on their care in the hospital. They don't have eye-to-eye contact with their doctor anymore. There are many reasons why seniors are very upset with Obamacare as well. So those two factors alone, plus the economy, which is not improved, means that people are assessing their situation and they want change.
Yeah, the reality of it is that everything that you could wish for if you're running for president of the United States is happening in your favor at this point in time. Obamacare, the bills are coming in. You have Hillary absolutely crashing with what's going on with this whole email situation. Everything is good for Donald Trump right now, and the best thing he can do is go to North Carolina.
And he might want to make a stop in Pennsylvania too, Michael, because the real big news I've seen over the weekend is that suddenly all those Reagan Democrats are back. Pennsylvania's new poll shows a statistical dead heat. According to the latest YouGov poll, Mrs. Clinton ahead by only 1 point. That's well within the margin of error. Is it the folks in Western PA and that fabled T of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania coming out for Trump? Is it Mrs. Clinton's woes? What do you think, Michael?
I'll tell you, you just spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was my state in 1980 in the general election. I was there most of the time during October as I was taking 66 airplane rides at 19 states during that month. Pennsylvania is very important. You're absolutely right. He needs to be there. If the Reagan Democrats are coming on board, you really need to be there. Michigan might be nice, but he's 7 points down. It's going to be hard to close anything off in Michigan. He doesn't need Michigan to win, but he does need Pennsylvania. He does need North Carolina. He does need Florida. He needs those states. That's where I'd be spending my time as of right now.
And so why? Go ahead, Betsy.
I'd like our viewers to know that those who may be having early voter remorse, in 8 states, it is possible to change your ballot, Pennsylvania being one of them. So if you've had early voter remorse and you've now decided you want to vote for Donald Trump in view of the latest email scandal, or you took a look at your Obamacare premiums, or you're just listening to what's happening in the economy, you can change your vote.
Well,
yeah,
that's good to know.
Betsy, too.
Would you like
interesting.
Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Louisiana, Hawaii?
All right, we will get that list and try to put it up a little bit later because this is big news.
But it is interesting.
Go ahead, Michael.
It's interesting with all the breaking news, JD, that the national media hasn't picked up on those 8 states that you can't go and change your vote.
They don't want you to know.
Well, that's all the more reason, Michael and Betsy, since we're not the media, we're Newsmax, we will make sure we elaborate on that, not only tonight, but in the days to come here on Newsmax TV. So we thank you for that. And, of course, the deadline for doing that may vary based on those 8 states' election laws. Check local listings. Now, a place that used to be local for me, Michael mentioned, Betsy, we need to get back to it, my native state of North Carolina. Michelle Obama was there with Hillary last week talking about how important the old North state is. Albert Hunt, with a column for Bloomberg this weekend, said North Carolina is the new bellwether. Do you agree with that?
Well, it could be. Maybe Michelle wants to go back and campaign with Uma Abedin and Anthony Weiner this week.
Yeah, there you go. But you know, one of the big problems that Trump has still in North Carolina and other states is that ground game. The one thing the Democrats do have, and Hillary has, is the money that they have spent on a ground game to get people to the polls to make sure they vote. It's okay to have 20,000 people at one of your events, but you want to make sure you get all 20,000 people and their families and their friends to the polls on Election Day, because if you don't do that, all this doesn't matter.
And I got to tell you, got to give credit to the North Carolina Republicans for what they did in 2012 after Obama carrying the state in 2008, but you can't rest on your laurels, so the Tar Heel GOP will have to come through in a big way in the next 8 days for Mr. Trump. It is that close. Meantime, FBI Director James Comey has delivered the biggest October surprise of this curious campaign. It came on Friday. Betsy and Michael come back to discuss the implications of what Comey hath wrought as Newsmax Prime continues. Let's welcome back in our political panel, again via Skype from New York City, Betsy McCaughey, and likewise via Skype from Southern California, political commentator Michael Reagan. Betsy, not far geographically from where you are, Doug Schoen was on the Fox News channel last night. Doug Schoen, the Clinton pollster, an unabashed Clinton supporter until last night. Look and listen to what he had to say.
Building. We're neighbors.
Oh, so we could call him in to be on this? Here's the way he told the nation last night on television.
I'm deeply concerned that we will have a constitutional crisis if she's elected.
Wow.
I want to learn more this week, see what we see. But as of today, I am not a supporter of the Secretary of State for the nation's highest office.
How long have you known
So, Betsy, is he the first of many?
Let me just say I've been writing about this all day. It doesn't surprise me because if Hillary Clinton were elected president, she would not only become the first woman president, she would be the first president in the 21st century to be impeached. And she could be impeached for crimes she's already committed. There are several investigations underway, as you know, by the FBI, by committees in the House of Representatives. But she is also going to take her crooked ways right into the White House. So she could also be impeached for crimes committed after she becomes president. She's already said, for example, that she's not going to close up her foundation. So that illicit connection between money raked in by the foundation and access to the U.S. government is likely to continue. And so for all those reasons, I share Doug's concern. Of course, I was never a supporter of Hillary Clinton, but I should think that voters who are on the fence would worry about, do they want our country to be paralyzed by these legal controversies for the next 4 years?
Yeah, other things, though, I wish I could have had a fly on the wall there at the Clinton headquarters when you had the White House come out in support of Comey and what he did. I am sure that Hillary Clinton and her staff went absolutely apoplectic when, in fact, he came out, or Josh Ernst came out and said the president supported him. He was a good man. He was an honorable man. He was a good FBI leader and what have you. I don't think they were expecting that today from the White House.
Another hot topic. Well, go ahead, Betsy. Go ahead.
Democrats have been trying to shift the story and make James Comey the subject when it's Hillary Clinton who set up this illicit email system in defiance of federal law and sent classified information on it, putting the nation at risk, and then destroyed her computers and her emails to evade investigation. She is to blame for this controversy and the pickle she's in now.
Donald Trump made that point on the stump. That's the way we led the program tonight. Panel, another hot topic. The lead story today on our parent website, Newsmax.com, the FBI was pushing for greater, more thorough investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Our Newsmax.com article went on to credit the Washington Post in reporting that FBI agents in New York butted heads with the Justice Department. DOJ said there was not enough evidence to continue. And, of course, this news just part of the reported infighting over the Clinton email case being reopened by the FBI. So, Michael, I guess the question is, vis-a-vis the foundation and all of this, what happens next?
Yeah, what happens next? And this is the battle between the FBI and the Department of Justice. We knew this was going on. A lot of it brought on by the meeting of the tarmac there in your state of Arizona. And we know this investigation is happening. And again, you've got a stopgap sitting at the DOJ with Loretta Lynch saying, hey, I'm going to protect the Clintons at all costs. And I think people, when they go vote on next Tuesday, need to understand that that's the game that's being played, that the Clinton is being protected at all costs by DOJ, and you have the FBI trying to do the right thing to get through it all.
Betsy, the last item I want to get your comment on, former Attorney General Eric Holder wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post this weekend, writing he was deeply concerned about FBI Director Comey's decision to alert Congress in that kind of vague letter. The former Attorney General went on to say the decision was incorrect and it violates long-standing State Department policies and tradition. Then Harry Reid comes out saying that James Comey has violated the Hatch Act. Sorry, please forgive this pun, Betsy, but national security trumps the Hatch Act, does it not? And this has all the markings of a national security case. 30 seconds for you to close us out. Go ahead.
Yes, it does. And it's very sad to see the Democratic Party really giving up all principle in order to try to slide Hillary Clinton into the White House despite these growing scandals. You'd think that all Americans, regardless of partisanship, would want justice done.
And that is a good way to stop the request that justice be done. You folks have done more than justice to us tonight. Betsy McCaughey in New York, Michael Reagan in Southern California, thank you very much. Now, we talked about this earlier, the importance of Florida and Ohio, but what role will North Carolina play 8 days from now? Trump supporters and North Carolinians, Diamond and Silk, join us when Newsmax Prime continues.